The big guns have fired on day 2 of the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup. Germany defeated New Zealand by 2-1, picked up another 3 points, and now with 6 points, Germany progress to the quarterfinals. Also in action were the Netherlands. They were up against Malaysia in Pool B, and the Dutch have laid down the marker. They pumped in the goals, and against a hapless Malaysian side, it was a goal fest. As many as 7 goals were scored, and in the end it finished Netherlands 7, Malaysia 2. Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup from the Major Dhyan Chand Stadium in Lucknow. Today we have South Africa taking on Canada, Argentina versus Australia, and later on it's India taking on England. And the first game of the day is Korea taking on Austria. That is a Pool A fixture. Let's now go down to pitch side with Solomon.
We're down on the pitch side here with Uta and Axel Soldat, parents of Christopher Soldat, and we're just going to ask them a few questions. Uta, it's been a long journey for you guys to get here, the first time that Austria has actually reached this tournament. What levels of support have you had to give to Christopher to achieve what he has achieved here?
We always believed in him, we always believed in his strengths and his powers, and so we are very, very proud now.
Fantastic. And sorry, Axel, you guys have been traveling India now for quite some time. You've been up to the Taj and Agra, and a fairly lengthy journey. How have you enjoyed your journey through India so far?
Up to now it was wonderful. We have been to the Taj and we have been to Udaipur, and it was a great experience up to now.
Christopher, one question for you quickly before you've got to go and warm up. Your first time at an event of this nature, at Junior World Cup, massive event for you. You had a great result against New Zealand the other day, against Argentina the other day. Today, Korea presents a totally different challenge. What's the approach for today?
They're also very strong, and we just try to play the exact same way that we did yesterday. So, solid defense, and then we'll look what's the outcome.
Fantastic. All the best. You can go and warm up now, and we'll carry on talking to your parents. Good luck for the game.
Thank you.
Christoph Soldat there. We'll be looking forward for this encounter which takes place in a few minutes. Now let's go down once again. Solly is there now with the coach of the Austrian side. It is Cedric D'Souza.
Pitch side with Cedric D'Souza, coach of the Austrian side. Cedric, a great result for you in the first game against Argentina yesterday. Today, Korea, totally new opponent. How do you approach the game?
It's a new game, it's a new plan, it's a new strategy, it's a new day basically, and you've got to just keep working at believe in yourselves and keep working and hope the momentum goes all the way through. The important thing is to keep your head on your shoulders, to get your feet back on the ground. Okay, it was a big result for us yesterday, but to make sure that we stick to our game plan today.
And coaching the senior side versus coaching the junior side, any difference to that in the way you have to communicate? How much different? Do they pay more attention to you, less attention to you? How do you communicate with them differently?
Well, I think the most important thing what I'm trying to do now is to try and make them understand that it's not what I know in my head, but what they know in their heads, and we got to get that out from them. And it's always a question and answer session, more and more, instead of just telling them what to do. So it's always try to trigger off their minds and make sure that they give back feedback and they know exactly what's going on. So the same thing, same process is going on with the men and the under 21s, and a lot of these guys will hopefully push the senior guys out and make it a 2020.
All the best, Cedric. Good luck for the game today, mate.
Thanks so much.
Cedric D'Souza with a lot of experience there. He's coached the Indian senior team as well in the past, has Cedric D'Souza. And now Solly is downstairs once again with the Korean team manager in Moon Ki-yoo.
We have the team manager of Korea, Mr. Moon Ki-yoo, with us here. Mr. Yoo, your team hasn't had a lot of practice matches before coming into this event. Your first game of the tournament. What's the team preparation like?
Our team is this tournament is prepared for 2 months ago, training in Korea and training camp in Malaysia, 12 days. So we have prepared for now. Okay.
The Austrian team had a 1-1 draw against Argentina the other day. You had a look at that game. Anything that you've seen from there that you need to be pretty wary of today?
Yes, yesterday we was matching in Austria and Argentina. We were watching the match was a Austria team is a power team, but it's little we have prepared for today to match, but we want to win, must win, and then important today because today's match, first match, a very important day.
All the best for the game ahead today.
Thank you.
The future is now. Rock the juniors as the two teams now walk out there on the pitch. Amongst the fireworks here at the Major Dhyan Chand Stadium in Lucknow. Lovely scenes here. We certainly are in for a cracker of a contest. Well, out walks Mr. Rajinder Singh, Regional Director, Sports Authority of India for Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, escorted by Commander R.K. Srivastav, Executive Director of Hockey India, as he will meet the two captains and the umpires as well. We now begin with the national anthems, and we start off with Korea.
Standing for the national anthem of Austria.
The stage is set. This is where boys become men. I am Aridman Gulati, and alongside me is Solly. Welcome, Solly.
Hi, Aridman. Looking at the Korean team here, team that finished 4th in 1989, 8th in 2013, 3rd in the 2015 Junior and Asia Cup, and no events since then. They've got a couple of key players there. Number 7, Woo. He's pretty tricky. Woo Hyung-soo. Jae-won Sim in number 11. Jae-han Kim in number 21. Typically featuring the Korean style, tight defensive platform, play off the counter-attack. They'll have a very good short game, skillful in tight spaces, and they'll pose a formidable problem for Austria this afternoon, or this morning.
Well, that's the Korean side as having a bit of a huddle now. The men dressed in white and navy blue shorts with navy blue socks as well. And their opponents, Austria. They already have 1 point. They played the match against Argentina, dressed in red and white. And this is the Austrian lineup. In goal is Lucas Glesser. At number 7, you have Franz Lindegrun. He's played 11 internationals for Austria. Number 9, Petr Rudovsky is their star player. And number 13, Oliver Binder is the man who scored the goal against Argentina, the equalizer, remember. And the captain by Leon Tonblom. And this is how Pool A stands at the moment. Argentina and Austria played a game yesterday, so 1 point each. Australia yet to play, of course, they'll play later on today. And Korea, well, it's the first time we're having a look at them as well. So, Solly, Australia, I would imagine the favourites to progress as far as the Pool A is concerned. What about the rest?
I think it's going to be an absolute arm battle between the rest. Any one of the other three could actually go through. You know, that draw the other day that Austria delivered. They really, really did open the pool wide up with that result.
Well, started off with a point, then have the Austrians, and a lot of these players, Solly, have played in the senior side as well, thanks to Cedric D'Souza, who of course is the coach of the senior side as well.
Yep, Cedric D'Souza, legendary Indian coach. He's guided this team pretty well. They're certainly showing a lot of good form coming in early in the piece. 2 good attacking movements down the left and their back end. Strong drive, just equal to the task was the Korean defense, but Austria get a free hit.
Right at the edge of the circle now for the Austrians as they play it inside. First attacking opportunity here for Austria. Nothing comes off it. Korea, as you mentioned, Solly, at best they finished 4th in the Junior World Cup back in 1989 at Ipoh in Malaysia. Finished 8th 3 years ago in Delhi, 7th in 2009. They haven't done too much as far as international hockey is concerned in the last few editions of where it comes to the World Cup or the Olympic Games. As they try and muster up an attack now, playing down the left, but not trapped by the player. That's the Korean coach, Jang Jun-min. The Korean coach played in the Asian Games in 2010 in Gwangju. So has the experience of a player as well at the highest level, has the Korean coach in Jung-min Jang. And that's Cedric D'Souza, of course. Solly, you spoke to him earlier in the morning, the man with a lot of experience. He's coached the senior side as well, coached India, and wanting to get in all his experience across to his players. And it worked as far as that first game was concerned.
They're just having a lot of fun with this. It's their first event, first time at the Junior World Cup for the juniors, and they're on a strong transition phase with a very big focus on 2020. So this tournament is all about learning and developing, and Cedric, I think, will be one of the best coaches around that you can get for that particular job. He's pretty good with his communication strategies and relates to the juniors pretty well.
Now Korea come in ahead here, trying to flick one inside. Was Seo unable to do so. This Austria have played in the Olympics when it comes to field hockey. They finished 5th, but we have to go way back to 1952 in Helsinki when they participated in that competition.
And the game certainly moved a long way since then.
Well, grass turned to green AstroTurf, and from green we've switched to blue now. But we have 2 halves of 35 minutes each. Remember, this is the last FIH tournament that we have 2 halves of 35 minutes each, and then come 1st of January 2017. It's 4 quarters of 15 minutes each, which in any case is played at the senior level.
Yeah, apart from just the changes in AstroTurf, Arigman, probably the biggest development in the game over the last couple of years, probably the last 8 or 10, has been the physical nature of the game. These guys are fine athletic specimens these days. Sports science playing a huge role in the development of the athletes. I think going back to the olden days, there's no chance any of us would be able to compete with them for the speed and skill that they deliver at pace and the intensity at which they play the game.
Korea keeping possession here. Switching flanks as to try and move forward. Just playing amongst themselves here, the Koreans. Remember, it is their first match in the competition. They were scheduled to play Australia earlier, but that game has been pushed back. As we speak, a penalty corner comes in here for the Koreans. Deflected, and it hits, unfortunately, the player on the face and the nose there. And as a result, the umpire in El Murray from Egypt has given that as a penalty corner.
Mangi Wang from Korea getting one in the face off a raised ball off the stick. Unfortunate. Didn't have much of an opportunity to get out the way on this one. Austrian defender just trying to go and make the trap, but he had his stick flat as opposed to upright. That's why it's deflected up. Number 9 for Korea, Mangi Wang. Especially in the cold weather, that'll definitely, he'll be feeling that.
Well, we have seen quite a few knocks so far in this competition. It is only day 3 as Mangi Huang getting some treatment here.
Hockey players are tough though. He's up and about, and he'll be back on fairly soon. Get a bit of treatment on the side just to close that up.
Well, that is the umpire in Sheriff Almari from Egypt down the Austrian end. He's the one, of course, who's given the penalty corner. And down the other end, we have Sebastian Michelsen from Belgium. So all set then for this first penalty corner of this encounter, taken in by Kim. He will inject. In she rolls, a great stop comes in here.
Juhan Park off the top of the castle with the flick. Low and hard to the goalkeeper's left. The Austrian defence equal to the task. Korea come away with a long corner, recycling it around the back.
Well, that was the first shot on goal, and it fell for Korea via that penalty corner. As Australia trying to move forward with an aerial. Lands in no man's land.
Here we have a look at it again. Nice strong flick. Oh, just squeezing out. Almost a little bit of confusion between the goalkeeper and the postman. But it was actually cleared by number 13, Oliver Binder.
Yes, between Lucas Glesser, the goalkeeper there, and Binder. They got away with it, did Austria. Oliver Binder, remember, the man who equalized for Austria through a penalty corner 7 minutes from time against Argentina yesterday. As a result, of course, Austria have 1 point, playing their first ever Junior World Cup. They qualified in the Euro Hockey Junior Championships, which took place in Waterloo in Belgium, alongside Germany, Netherlands, Spain, England, and Belgium. No France, though. We'll come down to that as Korea trying to play one inside the circle. Yes, Solly, no France. Of course, they made it all the way to the final 3 years ago in Delhi. Haven't done too much at the international level at France, but they made it all the way there as runners-up. And now could we have a surprise in Austria?
Look, I think I quite like the way Austria are playing at the moment. Very disciplined, well structured. They're certainly taking a lot of pride in the way they defend, not getting beaten on the one-on-one defense. That's a good start. If you're pretty solid off your defensive platform, you always give yourself a good chance to be in the contest. Probably the worrying thing for Austria, though, is even in the game against Argentina, we really didn't see too many really strong attacking moments for them. So they managed to compete in the midfield, but when attacking the defensive circle of the opponents, they certainly didn't have any real weapons, so to speak.
Well, they did come back against Argentina via that penalty corner. Little short on ammunition, yes, perhaps, as first time deflection comes down to the right here, as this is Colton Brook. Trying to get it out from the right pocket, as Korea have it there now. And foul comes in favor of Austria. And Colton Brook down on the mat, another quick self-start here inside the circle. This could be interesting for the Austrians. It goes inside, does it? Yes, it does. Austria have scored. They've taken the lead and shocked the Koreans here.
That was a fantastic goal by Austria. All started with a quick restart, individual self-play. Play to yourself and go. The Korean defenders at 6s and 7s, they all stood watching, thinking that the ball hadn't moved 5 before going into the circle. There it is, just the slightest of touch, poached in on the far post by Marcel Hilbert for Austria. Goalkeeper left stranded, easiest of tap-ins for Hilbert.
Well, great work coming first down the right by Unternkircher, and then finished up by that man, Marcel Hilbert, scoring in the 8th minute. Was this in the script, Solly?
At a Junior World Cup, or even at a World Cup, as we've seen with the Olympics, anything is in the script. On match day, any team can beat any team, just depends who wants it a bit more.
What sort of a reply can Korea come up with now? Shell shot with that opening goal inside the 8th minute.
Speaking to Cedric a bit earlier, something that we both agreed on, as a weaker team, you really got to take a little bit of pride in messing up somebody else's afternoon, especially if they're a bigger fish, or perceived to be a bigger fish. And Austria definitely done that in the early stages of this game.
Plenty of time, of course, for the Koreans to come back in this encounter. Still a little more than 25 minutes to go as far as this half is concerned. Marcel Hilbert in the 8th minute puts the European side 1-0 in the lead. Well, as you mentioned, Austria not fancy to go perhaps all the way, but there could be a team that if they don't go into the last 8, then they can spoil somebody else's chances. In this case, Korea.
Very much so. You've got to make every team work for the opportunity to get to the top 8. Austria will be doing their part in that contest so far. Korea just not able to trap that ball. But a striker left unmarked in the bottom right pocket.
Well, it's a new look Korean side from the qualifiers that they played earlier last year, the Junior Asia Cup in Kuantan in Malaysia, where Korea came 3rd, picked up the bronze by defeating Japan. But a lot of those players are no longer there in the Korean side. Just have Woo Young-seo and Chai Han-kim as internationals for Korea there. Chai wants him another player in that side. Revamped side. Unlike Austria, who most of the players who played the qualifiers in Waterloo are here, and most of them, if not all, have also been at the senior level for Austria. Of course, the same coach helps, doesn't it?
All does help, but it also shows good planning well in advance of the event, as opposed to just putting a team together to go and compete at that event. Shows future sustainability, good planning for the depth. Korea, though, one of those programs where they have a lot of potential. I think budget-wise they're a bit restricted. That obviously impacts on how you can perform. The senior men's program, we had a very hefty tournament schedule of late, so probably most of the budget would have gone on that, and the juniors would have been neglected just a fraction. And your resources are limited.
Cracked inside here by Jung. Austria get it out. They could muster up a counter-attack, however, there's nobody ahead. Foul comes in. Quick ball in, trying to find the forward there in Thornblom. The idea was right, but just wide. Otherwise, Korea was split.
Have a look at this goal again. Good carry into the circle, initially by Fabian Unterkircher. He eliminates 4 or 5 defenders. There's the first one. Spins on the goalkeeper, good bit of individual skill, and tapped in on the far post for the easiest of goals. Was it by Hilbert?
Well, 4 matches today as well. Of course, we have to begin with Korea and Austria. And later on, you have South Africa taking on Canada. That is a Pool D fixture. Then we head to Pool A once more, where Australia take on Argentina. First time we'll get a look at Australia. And later on, it is India taking on England. So day 3 looks very promising indeed, Solly.
Very entertaining features for today. Mouth-watering contests coming up. Especially looking forward to that India versus England contest at the end of the day. It'll be a huge battle for the top of the pool honours.
And remember, if you qualify from Group D, you play a match against a team coming in from Pool C. So Germany, of course, in that pool as well. Look good to top that group in Germany. So neither India or England would want to finish second. As Korea now move forward. Chance here. The angle pretty acute. And the opportunity is gone, at least for the moment. Yunil Lee not being able to gather that one, but he still gets it inside. Whipped across the face of goal. But nobody there as far as Korea are concerned.
Green card for cynically knocking the ball away, not allowing the Koreans to play quickly. There we go. Ball's run over the sideline and then he knocks it away afterwards.
So in the sin bin goes Florian Sterer, a 2-minute suspension. No reason to play the ball again once it's gone out, and Cedric comes in and gives him a hug, says what? What did he say?
Oh, he'd be saying, don't worry about it, it's all good. I'm not angry with you, just making him known that he can get back in and settle into his game. And you know, that's something that Cedric's really good at. He's like a father figure to his athletes. And that's why I say he'll be really good for a young team coming through that looks to develop them. It's all about that relationship you can build with young athletes.
There's plenty of experience for Cedric D'Souza at a managerial or coaching level. He's coached the Indian senior side as well in the 90s as Cedric, and in the early part of the 21st century. And his players have ensured that Austria are in the ascendancy at this stage. Korea haven't created much at this point of time.
I think something, getting back to that Cedric D'Souza incident, you know, something else is that this is a program that isn't a professional program. It's still very much an amateur-based program where, in a very small country where there's not a strong club competition. So the way you relate to your athletes has to be very different. In a professional program, you can demand and expect a lot more probably and be a little bit more firm on them, because they're used to that sort of treatment, used to that development environment. Behaviors have been drummed into them from an early age, whereas in an amateur environment, it's very much like a family affair.
Well, speaking about family, Solly, you met the family of Christophe Soldat, who is on the pitch now. And it's good to know, good to see full support coming in from brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, everybody who's coming here supporting their kids in this Uttar Pradesh Hockey Junior World Cup, hoping that their children, of course, make it ahead to the senior side. There they are, in the stands.
Uta and Axel, really nice people. Good to have a chat with them a bit earlier on. That's the nature of junior programs and junior events. You generally get a lot of parents traveling to support their kids. Very strong support network is important to make sure that you keep these guys level and balanced. That they're so eager to please and do well that sometimes when things don't go their way, they can have a little bit of a wobbly.
Well, meanwhile, Austria will get a free hit inside the 25. Whip inside, it's fallen through. Could be a chance for a tap in here for Austria. Scooped up. That was an interesting opportunity, Solly, for the Europeans.
Peter Kaltenbach there. Just got a little bit of a rush of blood to the head. Did well to compose initially, but then the flick over the top, just a fraction too much energy on it. Strong, really good attacking moment for Austria. Here we go, ball delivered in. Well delivered, lots of deception on that one. Looked as though it's going to the defensive left, or right, sorry. Well controlled, goal comes out. He was just in two minds, and that's okay. It's gonna happen. from time to time, but the time that he took to deliver just meant that the goalkeeper closed him down.
Well, he had Peter Rodowski as well inside the circle. Could have played it back to him. He was free. But you got to give the marks to the Korean keeper as well, in Jung Bin Kang. Just came forward, and as a result, didn't quite work out for Austria there.
That's one of those moments where he's just sort of panicked a little bit, wasn't sure what to do. And the better teams, you know, the Germanys, the Netherlands, those sorts of blokes, all those nerves just go away when you've got that much exposure. These guys haven't played a lot of practice matches. And the more you can play, the more you can get composed in those environments. You don't make those mistakes.
Well, talking about practice matches and warm-up games, not quite the case for Korea. Haven't played too much after the Junior Asian Championships. Austria, on the other hand, did play a test series against Bangladesh. The likes of Rudovsky, Binder and Indra were amongst the goals in that competition. So now, this is the goal scorer Hilbert on that right corner. Goes out for a long corner for Austria. Whipped inside. That will be an infringement coming in.
Ball raised dangerously into the circle. Good opportunity, just dangerous. And again, finding a striker unmarked behind the defender against that man, Kaltenbock. Peter Kaltenbock. Getting into good spaces, just not able to get on the end of it.
So we're halfway down in this first half. In Pool A, it's Austria 1 and Korea 0. And Korea haven't created too many chances for themselves, considering they, you would imagine, would be the perhaps slim favorites. But as we speak, what happens here? Well, here the Austrian player, in hitting the ball back, unintentionally, it has to be said, onto the Korean in Jung. But this is what happened. He's picked up a green card as well. Disappointed, and just hits it back, not knowing that Kim is behind, and that is Shipan. As a result, he has been shown a green card.
Yeah, a little bit careless.
So he goes into the sin bin as well, the second Austrian to go on the naughty bench. But to be fair to him, he didn't know too much about it. He didn't know that there was a player behind him.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just been done by a technicality that, you know, we've got this rule where you can play the ball to yourself and take the quick free hit, but the ball has to be played from a stationary position. So obviously he's taken the quick free hit, and umpires deemed that ball not to have been stationary, and therefore pulls him back, and that's just a little bit of a rush of blood to the head. Unfortunate, but one of those things. You've got to cop it.
Well, Jung seems a lot better now. It wasn't the case a minute or so ago. So, Austria down to 10 men now for 2 minutes, as it's a 2-minute suspension. Philip Shipan on the sin bin, as we have a little bit of a hold up in play. Korea making some substitutes. In comes Jin Yong Choi. Given away, falls back to Austria now. This is Stera, played back inside. That will turn out to be a free hit coming in once again for the European side. Not doing anything fancy, Solly, are the Austrians, and they're pretty happy with that. It's all to do for the Asian side and the Koreans, as now they get inside the circle here. Trying to maneuver it there was Thornblom, the skipper. Inside it goes, the tap-in comes in, it does! 2-0 Austria. The skipper, full marks to him in Leon Thornblom on the right, takes it inside and gets it in, and aren't those Austrian supporters and of course Cedric so delighted.
Really good goal here for Austria. They've worked hard, as you said, kept it very simple. A little bit of a scramble inside the circle. Just winning that one, knocking it into space, and the skipper takes it, knocks it to the far post again for a diving, outstretched Petrodovsky, who knocks it in. Really well taken. Look at the grin on that. There he is, the rat that got the cheese.
Don't you love it when a plan works out? And that is Petrodovsky scoring in the 21st minute. He was amongst the goals in that test series against Bangladesh, one of their star players, and he has showed why. All the dirty work, though, was done by the skipper, it has to be said, in Leon Thornblom.
I think we were speaking a little bit earlier about Austria not having done anything fancy, and you don't need to do anything fancy. They've just shifted the ball really well. You know, one thing Korea do is they do rush up on you defensively. They gang tackle units of 2 and 3, and they're pretty good at that. So if you keep stationary with the ball for too long, you'll find yourself under a lot of pressure. So it's about getting the ball and shifting it into space for men to run onto. And they've done that pretty well, have Austria. And then taken their quick free hits. And that's generally where the Korean defense have been caught flat-footed.
Now Korea have to up the tempo now. They're 2 goals behind. They've hardly got any shots on target, have the Asian side. They have time on their hand, yes they do, as they try to play one on the right. That will go into Austria's favor. Done the basics correct, have Austria. And they've waited in terms of their poachers, whether it is Hilbert earlier or now in the case of Radowski. And even in Hilbert's goal, all that dirty work was done by Fabian Unterkircher again on that right-hand side.
Yep, and what they're doing really well is shifting the ball. Once they attack on the right, they're looking for the second post, going to the back post. And the golden rule of basic hockey is you always have someone on the far post waiting for a tip-in those attacking situations. They've done that well, found space on both occasions.
Well, there was a third occasion as well, but in that time it wasn't played back, it was just scooped over the keeper. So they're targeting that right-hand side, the Austrians, but what about Korea?
Well, the one thing that they noticed about Korea is obviously with their defensive structure where they try and put 2 or 3 men around the ball carrier. If you do that in deep defense, you're going to leave somebody open. So what Korean defenders are all doing is they're all drifting across to the ball side, so the space is available on the far side.
Oh, lapping rung now coming in from the skipper Thornblom again on the right. Korea get it away for a moment as the captain is having a fantastic match here is Leon Thornblom, who plays for SV Armies. He's played as many as 24 matches at the international circuit for Austria has Leon Thornblom. The most experienced is Urtenkircher. He's played 48 times for the senior side, who also plays for SV Armies. Petrodovsky is another player who's played plenty of matches for Austria, 48 to be precise. And the man, of course, who picked up the second goal in this encounter. Korea, on the other hand, have 2 internationals in their side in Hyung Woo Seo and their goalkeeper in Jayan Kim.
Slight injury there to Leon Thornblom. The skipper seems to have gone over his ankle. Have a look at this goal again, just tenacious, knocking the ball into space. Again, received and going to the far post. Unmarked, totally unmarked. That's just poor defending. Kyu Byom Kim, the defender guilty of leaving his man unmarked, guilty of ball watching, and he pays the price.
In 7th heaven are the Austrians at this point of time. Thanks to that man, the goal scorer. Meanwhile, Korea are changing the goalkeeper as well, as Austria's player in their skipper Thornblom is leaving the pitch. Korea have meanwhile replaced their goalkeeper, so out goes Young Bin Kang, and they get the international player I was just talking about a little while ago, the player who's played at the senior level for Korea in Yehan Kim. Some more experience, of course, here for the new keeper in Kim.
Yeah, probably a bit rough that. I don't understand how you could blame your goalkeeper for those 2 goals. If you're going to replace him, you've got to replace your whole defensive line for leaving players unmarked.
Well, he's played in the Champions Trophy in London earlier this year, has Jayan Kim. So does have that experience at the highest level. Maybe that's why you have the Korean coach in Jung-Min Jang deciding to switch. But yes, you can't fault the starting goalkeeper in Young-Min Kan for those 2 goals, as you mentioned, Solly.
I think it's a difficult one. I mean, obviously, you're possibly looking at the goalkeeper coming on and, you know, someone more experienced being able to marshal the defence pretty well. But those mistakes that were made in defence were more discipline-based mistakes. I don't think really much is going to be changed by having one man calling the shots any differently.
Well, Korea come forward as that one is whipped inside. We'll get in a long corner, will Korea. Under 10 minutes to go in this first half. Decide to go route one ball again. Well, it goes inside goal, but no deflection coming in of a Korean stick, and hence that goal will not stand.
Here we go, ball crashed in. Looking for number 5 from Korea, Hai Hyung-hong Kim, who's the skipper. Just 2-3 yards too wide, and he wasn't able to get his stick onto it for a deflection. Austria carrying the ball strongly again. Big crossover, but just nobody on the end of it. One had to go to the far post, and there we go. Koreans crash it in. Skipper jumping in front of his defender. Not able to get on the end of that, just a little bit too wide of him.
Rare a chance for the Koreans to pick up something from this encounter. Get a goal, get back into this. Will make the half-time talk a little more easier. It's a new change side for Korea from that qualifiers that they played in Malaysia, where they finished 3rd, defeating Japan for the bronze. As on the left now, whipped in with the reverse wick, but very high, and that's considered dangerous.
This one just crashed in, got underneath it just a little bit, flashed over the top of the goal.
That was Woo Yong-seo, who also played at the senior level, played at the Champions Trophy earlier this year in London. He also scored a goal in the Asian qualifiers at Kuantan in Malaysia last year. And boy, do the Koreans need a goal now.
They certainly do. They need to do something a lot different. They're just not controlling the ball for longer phases of the game. If you look at the possession stats, 64% to Austria, and 65% of the time it's in the opponent's half, so really dominating the possession and the territory.
Quick self-start coming in now here from Siu. Down the baseline, falls to Kim, but Austria get it away. Korea haven't ever won this competition. They at best have finished 4th at the senior level as well. They have, as far as the World Cup is concerned, made it to the semis on an occasion, but the best ever is an Olympic silver medalist. That they picked up the silver at Sydney in 2000 when they lost to the Netherlands. As here comes Austria now, inside the circle, chance whipped in, but a tame shot, not connecting whatsoever, did Rudovsky. And the new keeper in Kim just kicked it away.
This was the ball that opened this play up into space, and as he hit it, he just fell over, slipped ever so slightly, wasn't able to get it in. But while we're watching that, Korea have come up the other end of town, got themselves a penalty corner.
So this will be their second penalty corner, and here is why. Siu doing well and finding the foot of the Austrian defender there. So chance then for the Koreans to pick up a goal with this penalty corner coming in. 6 players on the top of the circle, waiting like hawks, as Kyung Seop Jing will inject this one. In she rolls. It hits the Russia and goes away. The chance goes away here for the Koreans. Inside the circle once more here. Come Korea, appealing for a foul. Goes in favor of Austria. And now trying to release the man on the left with that aerial.
We'll have a look at this penalty corner again. Korea getting a good flick on target. Just wide though. He's hooked it. And there you go, the parents loving every minute of it. They're living it, living the dream with their athletes, going through all the roller coasters of emotions.
Parents of Christoph Soldat there, enjoying themselves, certainly be very pleased with the performance coming by their son, and also of course the Austrian team. They're 2-0 up as Korea charge forward, go inside the circle, run into traffic there. Philip Schmidt doing well in shielding the ball down the right pocket. And a penalty corner here comes in for Korea. This will be the third, and another opportunity.
Oliver Bender having a discussion with the umpire. We'll have a look at this again. Yeah, defender hasn't retreated 5 yards, and that's why. He's got to give the attacker 5 yards before he can attempt to make a tackle.
Oliver Binder, the culprit for Austria in conceding that penalty corner. And this being Korea's third penalty corner. Nothing much have come up from the previous two. Will it be third time lucky for the Asian side? Variation comes in and drags just wide.
Spin variation from Korea, showing that they really want to get back on the scoreboard, trying to do something different. Ball comes in, spins, eliminates the first runner, and just slipping again. Seems to be quite slippery out there. Hugh Neil Lee.
A lot of thrills and excitement in this match between Korea and Austria. Sparse crowd that we have in here at the edge of their seats. As Korea try and come forward again, and will get the foul in their favor. And some support for South Africa as well. They are up next against Canada. That game takes place at 2 p.m. IST. We also have Australia taking on Argentina. That is a Pool A fixture. We will have a first look at Australia, as Argentina have picked up 1 point against Austria. And later on, it will be Pool D, where India, the host nation, take on England for top spot, both those sides, with 3 points each. We're down to the last 2 minutes of this first half between Korea and Austria. As it stands, Austria will move on to 4 points. This is Korea's opening game. Their match against Australia has been pushed back. And for all those updates, log on to fih.ch as Austria now try and come in from the left. That was Lindegren. It's being shielded by Park. Austria have surprised Korea and quite a few people in scoring those 2 opening goals. Have been the surprise pick in this competition thus far. Remember the 1 point they picked up against Argentina, 7 minutes from time, a penalty corner taken in by Binder, who scored. Cedric D'Souza will be very pleased at this stage of how his boys have played. He's been a father figure to all these players, and as a result, just about everybody has also played at the senior level. coming to a close in this first half. Can Korea create another opportunity? Austria are closing them down well. Self-start taken in now on the right by Park. Gets it inside. It's fallen kindly here for Lee. But Austria get away with it. And chance for a counter here. Goes in the center. Oh, he had a man free on the right as well in Carlton Brook. That could have been so dangerous for Korea. As they come in again, decide to go aerial. Trapped in, maybe a chance. And a penalty stroke has been given here. At the stroke of half-time, Korea have a lifeline. Played aerial, Glaser came out, and let's have a look at it again. Trapped in first by Siu, and you had Glaser, the Austrian goalkeeper, nudging him. And the umpire, El Mari from Egypt, has given that as a penalty stroke. Wonderful opportunity now for Korea to pick up a goal. Chuan Park to take this one. Goes right, goes left of the goalkeeper in Lucas Glaser, and can't get anything on it, and Korea have picked up the goal. Game on, match on, as it is half-time here. Down to the left of the keeper. The keeper gets right in Lucas Glaser, but still wasn't good enough to prevent that ball from going into goal. So Korea have a lifeline then, and at half-time here, it is Korea 1, Austria 2. So at half-time, it is Korea 1, Austria 2. Korea have a lifeline with that penalty coming in after Austria shocked the Koreans by getting 2 goals. And here are the match highlights. Korea had a penalty corner straight away, which was stopped by Binder at the post, doing his postman duties very well, as did the Austrian keeper in Lucas Glasser. Between Glasser and Binder, they ensured that the goal wasn't conceded. And this was the opening goal. All the work done in first by Fabian Unterkircher, and Hilbert tapped it inside to give the European side a 1-0 lead. The goalkeeper was all at sea as well in Yang Bing Kang in rushing out, and Unterkircher ensured that he passed the ball to Hilbert, who had an open goal, and all he had to do was get it inside, which he did. And then came in another chance for the Austrians. This one was scooped up by Kaltenbrock. Once again, the keeper coming in forward in Yongbin Kang. And here came their second goal. Leon Thornblom, the captain, doing all the dirty work, and played it inside for a simple tap-in yet again for Petrudovsky. Austria playing like a unit, playing for the team, deciding to do all the hard work for somebody else to take the glory. And that occasion it was Petrudovsky who ensured that Austria doubled the advantage. Once again, the goalkeeper came rushing out in Yongbin Kang, and as a result, the Koreans have switched the goalkeeper as well. They've got in Jian Kim. And the Koreans did come back with a chance, and this was it. This was the penalty stroke incident. It was played aerial, and you had Austria's goalkeeper Lucas Glaser just nudging Siu on the back, and the penalty stroke was converted by Juan Park, and that made it 2-1. Goalkeeper Glaser guessed right, but he still was unable to stop it. Drilled low, hard, and that ensured that Korea have picked up their opening goal. Let's now go down to Solomon for an interview.
And we've got Cedric D'Souza with us. Cedric, a 2-1 lead at halftime, conceding just on the edge of the halftime break. You're pretty happy at the start, but that last decision changes things just a little bit. How do you get into the second half now?
Well, we've got to maintain our defensive structure as best we can. We didn't have the counter control, and that was what happened. They scored a goal in the last 5 seconds. Okay, that was, we just talked about that and nothing else. Make sure you have your counter control, have your place in order, basically keep your citadel, keep your back door closed all the time.
All the best for the second half. Go strong.
Thank you so much.
Well, here are the match stats between Korea and Austria at half-time. 2 shots on goal for the Koreans and 3 for Austria. Circle entries absolutely same, 6 aside. But the possession, 59% to 41% for the Koreans. So Austria bossing there. 3 penalty corners for the Koreans. They didn't make it work. Austria have yet to receive a penalty corner. And in the disciplinary segment, 2 green cards have been shown to the European side. So the second half is about to commence. That is Rudovsky, who picked up that second goal for the Austrians. Also another international player is Petrudovsky. He's played as many as 48 times for the Austrian national side. He plays for SV Armies in the club circuit. That is the Korean in Jung Jang. We'll be hoping to put in a better shift in now with the Koreans. The second half is underway. Korea in white and navy blue, and Austria in red and white. As an aerial ball hit, it goes as a foul in favor of the Austrians. Austria have certainly given a good account of themselves in this competition thus far, with that 1 point against Argentina. And the 2 goals were picked up early on in the first half as well. This, remember, is their first ever Junior World Cup. As Korea now come down the right. Played inside here by Kim, but he can't find his man. That's the skipper. Yes, Austria, not a lot of experience as it comes to World FIH events. They have played the Olympic Games in the past. And they finished 5th. That's their best ever 5th, but you have to go back way back to 1952 at Helsinki. As Austria now muster up a move, going down to the attacking D. And they'll get a free hit there, just at the top of the circle. The ball has to travel 5 meters, of course, before it goes back inside. Push marker goes inside. As you have Abel trying to play it back, but still comes inside for the Austrians. Chance maybe. Penalty corner, yes it is, for Austria.
Here we go, ball carrying in. Banged off, and there's the stick tackle. Off the first one. So it is a stick tackle on number 18, Jacob Puchhammer.
So this is the first penalty corner for Austria. Couldn't get any decisions in their favor in the first half. Went straight away inside the first couple of minutes. They get an opportunity to extend their lead.
Let's see what tricks Cedric has up his sleeve. Slight adjustment at the top. The Koreans have broken, so one of the runners has come up from behind the line early, and so they're down to 3 defenders now, not 4.
So hampered now the Korean defense, as Solly mentioned. Apart from the goalkeeper, just 3 more in the goal. And it's gone through. Austria have picked up their 3rd goal. And remember, they had just 3 players alongside the goalkeeper. How vital was that, Solly?
It's a crucial start early in the second half. Exactly what Cedric D'Souza would have wanted. We'll have a look at this again. Great penalty corner. Got everything behind this one. Goalkeeper just beaten. All ends up, you'd have to say, pretty ordinary goalkeeping though. It's gone straight underneath him. Just stood up. He would have cleared it with his big right boot. Kim should be better than that.
And remember, Kim did not start this game, but they don't care. They're so delighted, so excited, and why not? And you have Binder picking up his 2nd goal in this competition. He scored via penalty corner against Argentina in the 63rd minute to pick up the equalizer. You were mentioning about the goalkeeper. The 2 goals were conceded earlier on by, of course, Youngbin Kang, but he was replaced. They got in Kim, and now he's given a goal as well. And let's not forget that Korea only had 3 defenders for that penalty corner, not 4. Do you think that made the difference as well, Solly? They had 3 defenders and not 4?
Not at all. Don't think so. It was just a simple goalkeeping error. The goalkeeper was there. He's just decided to go down and dive rather than using his leg to clear it. Don't think he picked the line up. But take nothing away, it was a very good penalty corner from the top. Flicked with pace, fairly straight. Not into a wide corner or anything special.
Well, once again, Austria doing everything right in terms of the basics and waiting for an error to come in from Korea. That's exactly what's happened.
You put the pressure on them, they make mistakes. That easy. But clearly looks as though, sorry, Aridman, clearly looks as though Korea underdone in terms of preparation. Definitely not enough game exposure. They're just not up to the pace of the game just yet, and they'll get better as the week goes on.
Well, they haven't played too many tournaments at the junior level, at the under-21 level, have Korea. Not too much coming in after the Junior Asian Championships in Kuantan in Malaysia. And it is showing, as you mentioned there, Solly, they were supposed to play Australia in their opening match. That got postponed. And as a result, this is their first. It's Austria's second. They've already had that match against Argentina. Korea have to do it all over again. They picked up a goal at the stroke of half-time via that penalty stroke that was converted in by Woo Yong-seo. As Lucas Glaser nudged into Park. You thought that perhaps you would see a fight back coming in from the Asian side. Instead, it's fallen in favor of the Europeans in Austria. What sort of fight back now can Korea muster up here? Switch down to the right. This is Jung. Oh, it falls inside the circle kindly now here. That was Yang, but he couldn't take it in his stride. And now the Austrians move forward on the left here. Turnover coming in. Carlton Brook runs through to the attacking third, tries to get inside. He does have a man free. And the goalkeeper and Philip Shipan running after that one, but still danger here for the Koreans. And they get it away now, but that certainly was a heart and mouth situation for the Korean defense and their keeper in Yang Beng Kang. Well, these are the circle entries for the Koreans. 4 from the left, 2 from the right, and 1 in the center. Well, they are in the circle now. As a whip one in, kicked away by Austria's Lucas Glaser there. This game has opened up. Chances either end. Once again, Korea get it now. Trying to get inside the circle, unable to do so. And Austria move forward with Soldat. Gets it ahead. And this is the circle entries for the Austrians, as many as 6 from the right. And that's where the 2 goals came in as well, remember. 1 from the center and 3 from the left. Well, Solly, what do the Koreans have to do now? They're 2 goals behind as they muster up a move here, and nothing has worked for them so far.
It's been a little bit surprising in a way because Korea have been fairly static. You know, we're quite used to seeing a lot of off-ball movement and a lot of energy in their play. You can see their back four just slowly walking forward now, and the game's been up in the attacking half for a bit. They're just not closing the lines and working hard for each other. It seems like a very disjointed affair, and they need to get their structure back and start working in their units again. You can't just work one out against a defense of 5 or 6 players.
Once again, they'll have to play it from the back now, as that was Lee. But Austria get it back again. Applying good pressure. Good skill coming in here. This could be a chance, surely. Just going wide there. Lovely work coming in from the skipper in Thornblom.
We'll have another look at this. Good attacking opportunity. Thornblom getting the ball up in there. Really good 3-dimensional skills, changing direction. And he's just tried to scoop that over the top of the goalkeeper, but his stick has slid underneath the ball and just gone wide of the post.
Rudovsky was waiting as well as a poacher to tap it again once more. That would have made it 4-1 and buried the Koreans perhaps. They're still in it. 25 minutes to go. Remember, 2 halves of 35 minutes each, so 70 minutes is this encounter. Not 60 if it was 4 halves of, or rather 4 quarters of 15. So the extra 10 minutes. This is the last ever FI Junior World Cup to have this format. We already have the 4 quarters at the senior level.
Ball raised dangerously. What Austria are doing really well in defence is making sure that they've got a double defence set up on pretty much every attack that the Koreans have thrown at them. They're just flooding numbers back. Great control there on the far side of the field by Fabian Unterkircher. He's tackled well. Austria dropped all the way back into their half. It was very defensive half-court press. Korea come forward. But again, really, really solid defense, well composed. Fabian Unterkircher, after that great bit of control, has also been given a card. Don't know if it's a green card. I think it would be. We missed the action on that one from the comms area.
Korea have possession now. A little good spell for them because it's been Austria thus far who have all the possession. Is whipped inside. The deflection comes in as well, but goes pretty wide. And yes, green card it is for Fabian Unterkircher. So he is out for 2 minutes, and as a result, Austria down to 10.
There we go, Korea just driving that ball in. But the ball being raised dangerously by Gang San Lee. That's conceded the free hit to Austria. You can see the Austrians now rolling the bench. Quite substantially. Desperate defense by Austria. Korea starting to accelerate their game just a little bit. Desperate defense, just getting his stick down low on the ground. He's lost his footing slightly. The stick was ahead of the body. And then just composed, clean out, an exit strategy. But Korea come forward again. Conceding a free hit. It's the skipper, Yeon Hong Kim.
Lucas Leso was pretty quick in charging out and narrowing the angle there. As nonetheless, it is a hit now for the Austrians. Down here is Paul Super as he whips one away down the right flank and sees nobody. That's a big time error coming in there. And hands Korea back to possession. They've been second best in possession thus far in this encounter. Just 36% compared to Austria's 64%.
Absolutely dominant. That's not a stat that you'd usually associate with the Korean team.
Circle entries, though, it has to be said, neck and neck. 12 for the Koreans and 12 for and 11 for Austria. But the midfield has all been Austria, more or less. But now it's Korea who have possession. It's played down to Yang. Yang tries to play one down the right channel. It's fallen through here for Kim. He will get still a free hit.
Interesting decision to bring that one back. Stick tackle far back. The Koreans had the flow. Would have just played advantage and let the game go on.
No referrals either, of course, in this competition, unlike what we have at the senior level. Cannot take the aid of the television.
Look at the goal scorers here. Austria, Petrodowski scored in the 21st minute. Oliver Binder in the 39th minute. And then we've got the penalty stroke for Korea. Joo-han Park scoring in the 35th minute. In the dying seconds, the penalty stroke was awarded of the first half. Have a look at some of the action. Driving strong, have Austria. They've penetrated well. But this one just being flashed over the top.
Franz Lindegruen there with that reverse hit. As Hilbert, Rudowski and Binder, the 3 goal scorers for Austria. Korea try again. And that was Kim. Playing it back here, keeping possession of the Koreans until they can find a way through and breach this defense.
Korea with the free hit. The attacking left.
Well, under 20 minutes to go in this game. Austria have the points in their kitty thus far. Who are your standout performers, Solly? As Korea trying to get one inside, but once again falls in favor of the Europeans and trying to come forward here. Yes, I'll just ask that question again. Who are your standout performers then as far as this game is concerned?
Well, I think for me, the skipper from Austria, Leon Thornblom, has been pretty creative for his team. He's done a lot of work and created almost, I think, 2 or 3 of the goals that have fallen. Obviously, somebody else has followed on and actually converted the goal. It's been a pretty good, solid team effort by Austria all round, so it makes it very difficult to say one man stands out, but I'd have to say the skipper, Leon Thornblom, for his creativity.
Yes, Austria have played like a cohesive unit there, playing for each other. 2 goals that had come in initially had come in from the right, and all the work was done by Udenkircher and the skipper in Thornblom, as Solly was mentioning. But now it's Korea trying to muster up a move. They get inside the circle here. Well, he couldn't play it back. Could Hyo Jun Yang.
Korea with a good opportunity here. Tucks the ball inside, splits 2 defenders, but just couldn't control it. Run over the baseline. A little bit too far on that reverse stick 3D skill. And Korea have really decided to up the pressure a little bit, come to a full court press.
Well, it's not going to get easy for the Koreans from here on, because you have Australia and Argentina next. And you would consider Australia as favourites to certainly progress from this pool. Now with Argentina dropping points to Austria, and Austria themselves at this stage move on to 4 as they come in forward now. It's 1 against 2. In comes Udenkircher. Inside the circle, falls through here, but doesn't come in for the incoming Rudowski.
Yeah, it was 1 against 2. Korean defence just marshalled him pretty well. We see dispossession and ball through. There we go. Tackled, but also a hand in the back by the Korean defender there, Kyung Sop Jung.
Well, Austria, if it stays like this, will be fancying the chances of progressing. If Australia beat the Argentinians, and then it's Argentina versus Korea. Of course, Korea will have a game in hand later on, as will Australia. But in with a real shout of then progressing to the quarterfinals, Solly.
Very much so. 2 very important results for them over the last 2 days for Austria. Well, still 17 minutes to go in this one, though.
Yes,
as it stands at this point in time, they're certainly sitting in a really, really strong position in Korea. Definitely leaving themselves with a lot of work to do, as you've spoken about. Some strong opponents in this pool. And if ever they were going to win a game, it has to be this one.
And Cedric D'Souza is making his calculations and then passing them on to his players. Come on, he says, would be very, very happy indeed inside, smiling. Would be Cedric, giving them a good motivational talk. Here are the Koreans now. Get another opportunity. That is Siu. Playing it down to Jung. Decide to switch flanks on the left. As that is Park. Park is a player who received that penalty stroke, which was then converted by Siu at the end of half-time.
Again, the ball coming in.
Well, a card has been shown meanwhile by the umpire in Mickelson. It's a yellow card, that too, which means for a minimum of 5 minutes, Austria are now down to 10 men.
Both Korea and Austria get a yellow card here. A bit of argy-bargy inside the circle.
So Super, it is Paul Super who's on the sin bin with that yellow card. And a penalty corner has been given as well by Sebastian Mickelson, the umpire from Belgium. Both teams are down to 10 men, as Korea also received a yellow card earlier, as Solly mentioned.
Here we go. The umpires are calling this for a push, a deliberate push. I think that's pretty harsh. So, number 24, Leon Thornblom, the captain.
Well, this now is an opportunity for the Koreans. We have a little more than 15 minutes to go in this second half. They need to pull one back. Injected in. And a penalty stroke that has been given in by the umpire.
Second penalty stroke against Austria today. This one comes in. They've come to the right hand
game at 4 p.m.